She's just next to me. Her name is Marta. Sometimes she gets jealous, and if she will be barking, don't be scared. Yeah.
You played a concert in Luxembourg, and you played as a rising star. What does that mean to you to have received this nomination?
I got a notice from Emmanuel André, the director of Paris Philharmonie, that he would like to nominate me together with Casa da Musica Porto. And that was, of course, a great surprise for me. I didn't really know the scheme. I didn't really know what is the idea behind that. With time, I got acquainted with this scheme, of ECHO. Obviously, you know that there are some requirements. You have to include a female composer in your program. In my case, I choose works by Sofia Gubaidulina and Dobrinka Tabakova. And then Vasco Mendonça, the Portuguese composer, wrote a piece for me, the commission piece by ECHO. Many halls I knew them. So I've been playing in these halls, but also in Luxembourg Philharmonie, by the way. Like 10 years ago, I've been playing in Luxembourg Philharmonie with Mahler Orchestra. When I was concertmaster of Mahler Orchestra, we were also performing there. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
So for me, of course, this is it's a comeback to many European halls, but as a soloist now. So this is, of course, it's an honor.
You mentioned the work by Vasco Mendonça.
Yes.
You played a commission by Vasco Mendonça, and he wrote this commission especially for you. Can you tell us a little bit about the process?
Of course, you can imagine with Corona, everything got totally upside down. All our plans got collapsed. We're supposed to meet in the spring and talk about ideas, and when traveling was just like that easy. And so now we had to switch everything to online conversations, discussions. And in fact, I see from many people that people are actually happy to reduce the traveling and maybe sometimes unnecessary meetings. It was not our case, but obviously we can avoid movements and make things work. Yes.
And about what did you talk during the composition process of the piece?
Well, I gave freedom and decisions to Vasco, and basically on my side, I was just deciding, I was just telling him what is playable, what is unplayable, but I didn't influence his musical language. That I really left to him.
The piece is called A Box of Darkness with a Bird in Its Heart. Mm-hmm. And it's based on a poem by the American poet Terence Hayes. That's right. It refers to the current unrest, the social, political unrest, especially in the United States. Was it special for you to perform this piece exactly 1 week after the election in the United States?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's always fantastic to connect music, to mirror music to the world situation. So it was a really great choice of Vasco. He told me that A Box of Darkness with a Bird in Its Heart, it's the description of violin, because he sees these words, this description as a best description of a violin. Because this is a box. If you look inside, it's dark. Yes, and when it starts to sing, it's a bird. So especially, of course, the second movement, it's a pure, ultra high bird song.
That's beautiful. So it has so many levels, like the violin, the society, from the very close thing to us, like what could be closer than a violin, to the very abstract thing of society.
Yes.
You have been part of the orchestra, like as Concertmeister of the Mahler Orchestra. You are regularly performing with orchestras as soloist, and then you are performing like you did in Luxembourg as soloist, all on your own or with a pianist. Mm-hmm. Which of these constellations do you personally prefer?
Well, obviously, you have to choose the path. Yeah, either you go with the orchestra, that be concertmaster or two-team musician. Yeah, or you take the soloist path together with chamber music. And um, I tried both of this. Yeah, during my studying years, and as we mentioned, yeah, I also had a position in Munich Chamber Orchestra as a concertmaster. For me personally, I prefer to have more freedom in terms of performing on stage, and also what concerns my schedule. Yeah, so and the solo career and chamber music, it gives me more freedom. Yes, that's why I chose that path. But of course, certainly I learned a lot from orchestra experience, and especially as a concertmaster, and generally, I mean, it gives you absolutely unforgettable, first of all, chamber music feeling. Yeah, and colors and volume, and yeah, this is uncomparable. I always connect these things and my appearance on stage as a chamber music, because you are always, even if you play with a pianist, yeah, it's the chamber music, but also if you play with the orchestra, it's also chamber music. It's always a communication. Of course, the other thing, like if you play with orchestra as a soloist, you also play in, you also have a conductor. Yeah, so there is also the most direct communication is with conductor. Yeah, so I use my eyes to see the conductor's idea, and I use also my ears to hear the orchestra and to react.
We already talked about the current situation, the coronavirus situation. Can you tell us a little bit about the challenges that this means for a young solo performer like you, and how you encountered these challenges?
In the beginning of all this situation, yeah, with corona, with confinement, first of all, you think that this is not going to last long. Yeah, then then there was the next stage. There was some acceptance that this is the world situation and you have to deal with it, and you also have to choose to change your views about many things. And but obviously the world will be different afterwards. I really hope that serious musicians that really have something to say will be more appreciated, and they will have space. Yeah, and I think people do start to appreciate more authentic things, more real things, more true things. Not only in art, in everything. The values have changed.
On a very practical level, I imagine that, I mean, you had loads of concerts planned, I'm sure, and they got cancelled, or maybe last minute, like in Luxembourg, they change, but they still happen. Is it very tiring for you to all this last minute adjustment, or are you rather happy to be able to be on stage at all?
I feel thankful and blessed to be able to play for people, because this is our mission as artists. Yeah, to bring sense and joy with music for people. Yeah, to heal their souls, to inspire their souls.
And do you have any advice maybe for fellow young musicians how to get through this period?
My advice actually would be to take these times as an opportunity to discover other things in life, because as more versatile you are, the better, right? And also for the future, in music it will be beneficial for musician. Yeah, so I would say we were so stressed and so much into this rhythm of always concert travel. So maybe we could forget about many other things. So for me personally, I also take this time as a space, a sudden space to discover and to find time for other things. Yes. Because we musicians, we are not only we're not players of an instrument. Yes, we have to be wise people, we have to be versatile people. Yes, and to bring this in music. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for having taken the time again.
pleasure.
Um, I heard Marta wasn't too jealous. She didn't bark.
No, she's still sleeping.